Hello, and welcome to my submission for the third Linux assignment regarding Apache Web Server and Nginx. To start, I've got my little script here just to make running through commands a little easier. So we're just going to start. I've got my Apache Web Server here with its IP set up on two separate NICs, and this one is the secondary that's going to be running the Nginx. We're just gonna show the A records for site 1 through 6, all just pointing towards itself, and for later on there's the Nginx site IPs. The only difference is site 1N, site 2N, and site 3N. And just to show that they actually resolve, we're just gonna dig two of them. There is that with the answer properly, and we'll just dig 6 as well, just to show both are working. There we go. And going to show on both that SE Linux is enforcing, and on the other one, get enforcing. That was a little annoying to do some of those commands. That'll be shown later on, and we will show the Apache is listening on the correct ports, and we will show that Nginx is also listening on its correct ports. Interesting. And for firewall, listing all, we will see DNS, HTTP, and HTTPS are on the public. And just to run the command again, I think that's just the same one I doubled up on. And for the internal, it's not going to have DNS, or I don't know if it's supposed to have HTTP or HTTPS, but that's that. And no, didn't mean to do that, but we will run with it. We're just going to list all on the other one as well, just to show it's got DNS, HTTP, and HTTPS, and we will show the internal as well, just in case. It's probably also messed up. If that's not meant to be there, I cannot remember. And we will just start with site 1. I'm going to be running all these through a new private Mozilla Firefox, just so nothing's cached, nothing's in the way. So we will start by just showing the config. This is the config for site 1 with its custom 404 HTML and its redirection for Firefox users and Chrome users. We tried to fix the Chrome thing. It didn't end up working. I have literally no idea why, because it was working before and then it stopped. So I'll just go to site 1 on Firefox and it will automatically change over. And then to Edge, site 1 acts as Chrome user. And if I go to a random string, 404, the page doesn't exist. I don't think that's my custom error. Nope, I guess that was it looked very much like the a default. I guess I didn't really change it too much. But on to the next one. We're going to go to site 2. I'm just going to show the user 1 has been created with a password that is not stored in plain text, and user 1 is the account I will be logging in on. So site 2, this is the indexed one. I can access regular files just fine, but if I go to protected, it will prompt for the login. So password 1, and then I will log in, and I can access the contents of that protected folder. And then that is specifically from this IP subnet. So if I show the config down here, this is the IP that's currently on. If I change this from 1 to 0, I will just save that. Systems, restart HTTPD. Wait for that. That takes effect. And then if I just go right back to site 2 and try and go to protected, it will show forbidden, showing that you need to be from the specified IP address. You won't even be prompted for a user login if you are not from the correct IP. On to site 3. This one we had to make some user folders. I'll just leave that be paused for you. And I just made Matt and Aiden as examples and set the permissions that will show here. And if I now go to, I'll also show that, and that is on for enable home directories for HTTPD. If I go to site 3, you can see I just did a little basic HTML thing just to make this easier to show. If I go to my user page, you can see the contents there in the user/Aiden. If I go back to Matt, so you can see it's in the user/Matt. If the home directories are in the home path, and I just made their custom HTMLs there. Maybe that shouldn't have been indexing for that part, but that would have been an easy fix. I can't remember what it says. And that's site 3. Site 4 was one of the shorter ones. It was for the admin access from the admin users file. I guess I didn't nano var www site 2. I'll just find that after. We'll just go to site 4. This is the admin page. I did a little HTML and I made a user account for admin. That's just, I forget the file path. I'm pretty sure I had it shown. Maybe it's if I go to this, I think I'm just in the wrong spot. But regardless, I made the admin portal go with a refresh of 5, and the live server info, since it's cached now, it won't prompt me for the login, but I know I had the config for 4. I just don't remember where. Keep going back to the wrong tab. And I had already shown the config. It's in admin users. It wouldn't have shown up because it was, yeah. But there's the admin account with the hashed out login that I used for that. Onto site 5. There's the config requiring it to be in the 198 or 192.168.2240 subnet and require a valid user, and the authentication file is ht password in the same folder as the other one. So it was ht password, and there's site 5 admin. I should have made all these in one possibly, but then actually no, it would need to be different because don't want yeah, but there's that with the encrypted thing there. And if I just go to close these and go to site 5, site5.amod.com, it will prompt for site 5 admin login. And after I log in with the valid credentials, you'll see it has a certificate The certificate is for site5.amod.com. You can see when it was issued, the common name, the algorithm that was used, and the hashing there, and a little bit of the random info that was just put in. I used the OpenSSL commands to create that with which was a bit of a hassle. I remember though Windows was much harder to get certificates working, but that was that. And I need to show the HTTP daemon actually listening while I'm doing it. So well, there it's listening, but the TCP dump I will show. I'll get that going there, and if I go back to this site and I refresh it, you'll see it was listing there for the activity. And then, yeah, I already showed the cert and a redirect. So if I try and just go to HTTP for site 5, it will automatically redirect me to HTTPS. That's that one. On to site 6. This one was just a basic PHP site. So there's the basic config. There's the PHP index. And if I go to site6.amod.com, you'll see the PHP of the machine that the web server is. And yeah, that's kind of all for that one. And onto the Nginx, which will be over on the secondary VM over here. We'll just show the site1 config, which has its own server block. And if I go to site1n.amod.com, there is site1n, the kind of basic one there. And then for site 2, if I could copy that without the weird copying thing, there's the thing for site 2 only allowing from the specified, yeah, the subnet there. I set this up last week, and I kind of wish I recorded my video before now. There's that, and if I go to site 2n.amod.com, you'll see there's site 2, and it is only allowing me because I am on the 192.168.224 subnet on that adapter. Yeah, and now for site 3. This one was the SSL one, a little more annoying for the SSL certificate. On this one, I actually had more trouble, but I think it was just because I had misran the OpenSSL command when I was using that. It uses the password for this authentication file. If I nano that, there's the admin, and it is saved there. So if I go to site3n.amod.com admin, and I log in, and no, wizard, no, you must authenticate like a mere mortal before entering. And as you'll see, there is the cert for site 3n. It is different than the other one. And yeah, same kind of hashing. I just had a little more of a difficulty setting the Nginx up one for some reason, but it could have just been my config was having some issues. That is my submission for this assignment. I really enjoyed working with HTTPD and Apache, Nginx, all that. The fourth site was really easy, and the sixth site for Apache were really easy. The fifth and the third for Nginx were a little more tricky. And setting up the initial DNS records did take a little bit of troubleshooting. But after getting that working, getting it all set up to work with both servers, it was actually pretty smooth. I really liked the assignment. Thank you for your time. Goodbye.